I just want to speak for a moment about what happened on Saturday. As we were on air Saturday, I know all of us had our own thoughts. Brian had his own thoughts. Dan, Matt Murphy, Chris Hand, about what's going on, what are the implications, the conversational points, the opinion-based points. But in the moment, what you're trying to do is relate information as we understand it, as we know it, to the people of the listening audience, and by extension, the people of the great state of Tennessee and the United States of America. You're trying to get good evidence-based information to the people in real time and avoid any arena of, speculation or conjecture and whatnot. And then at some point, you take off that reporter hat, if you will, and you put on a commentator hat, and you have an opportunity to discuss these matters in a full-throated way. I am not about to be lectured by any liberal, by any member of the mainstream media, about civility and unity. Not for one damn moment. They use these words as a bludgeon against people who are as mad as hell today. And we have every right in the world to be mad. Every right in the world. Anger is a perfectly reasonable and proper emotion. And you're being told that it's not. And I'm here to defend you. And I'm here to defend conservatives and libertarians and anyone else with a mildly different political point of view who have been listening over the last 8 years as the mainstream media, let's call out the names, shall we? ABC, NBC, CBS, the New York Times, the Wall Street, not the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, and of course MSNBC and hashtag Never CNN. For the last 8 years, I've listened as you regularly objectify and dehumanize Donald Trump on purpose. You have dehumanized and vilified this man for 8.5 years. For 8.5 years, you've chosen not to discuss his policy, but to discuss his inhumanity. For 8 years, you've decided not to discuss how you differ from him on political perspectives and objectives, but how he is Hitler. And he is evil. And he is going to end democracy as we know it. For 8 years now, you have done this to a receptive listening audience. What did you expect? What do you expect when you, New Republic, run a headline calling Donald Trump the new fascism? What do you expect, Washington Post, when you run an editorial column saying it's perfectly acceptable to compare Trump to Hitler? You did that last spring. Now, I understand how there are many people, many conservatives and talk show hosts, and hell, some of my bosses are saying, hey, we need to calm down, everybody. We need to tone it down a little bit. I'm not about to be told to tone down by the same damn people that toned it up. You caused this. And if I sound mad, it's because I am. It's because I am. You objectified a man in such a way. You vilified a man in such a way. You dehumanized Donald Trump. To call Donald Trump Hitler is to dehumanize him and to give individuals who are off their rocker with evil intent carte blanche to do whatever they want to do. You create that dynamic by which they think in what they're doing humanity a service. You did that. You did that, liberals. I didn't do that. It is perfectly acceptable. And look, and I don't have any issue. Let me be really clear here. I don't have any issue with words like target or bullseye. And I know some will go off on that kind of stuff today. I think that's silly. Oh, Joe Biden, and I posted about some of it over the weekend. Oh, Joe Biden said there was a bullseye on Donald Trump, and they said they're targeting Republicans. They did the same thing to Republicans after Gabrielle Giffords got shot. Remember that? Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords out of Arizona, she was shot, and in the aftermath of that, they did not understand that you were dealing with an uber leftist who was mentally deranged that committed that atrocious act and attempted an assassination of Gabrielle Giffords. But in the immediate aftermath, they're like, oh, my goodness, Sarah Palin had put up a map, and she had targets on the map targeting congressional districts. And, oh, my gosh, that's not what we're talking about. That sort of language, when you stand up at a podium and you say, America, we must fight, like Donald Trump did on January 6th, there's nothing to that. That is political rhetoric. And that type of political rhetoric has gone on since the beginning of time. We're talking about something deeper. We're talking about something more evil. When you, look, remember the conversation that everybody had about baby Hitler? Remember it was like 2016, and everybody's like, somebody asked Jeb Bush this question, right? If you could go back in time, would you kill baby Hitler? And I think Jeb had a good answer. Remember what his answer was?
No.
You don't remember, or you think that was his answer?
No, I don't remember.
He was asked if he'd kill baby Hitler, and Jeb Bush's answer was, "You damn right I'd kill baby Hitler."
That's actually a post-credit scene in Deadpool 2 where he travels back in time and he's in the nursery with baby Hitler. And he's struggling over whether or not to knife him.
He's a little cute little baby. I remember this conversation. Oh, would you kill baby Hitler? And everybody's like, yeah. Well, knowing what we know now, I mean, to prevent him from killing, baby Hitler. Yeah, we'd kill baby Hitler. Joy Reid and Joy Behar and all these other sycophants on MSNBC and the rest on CNN, many of whom have already been fired. Brian Stelter, the potato, is out there going, we need to be unified. He has a writing credit. This is the duplicitous nature of these liberals, these political leftists, these do as we say and not as we do political numbskulls. Brian Stelter has a writing credit on the New Republic headline that came out like a week and a half ago called The New Fascism, discussing Donald Trump with Donald Trump's face on it. He's got a writing credit on there, but today he's talking about how we need to elevate the conversation and be unified and be civil and be, and make sure that our tone is appropriate. I only see one side getting shot at. Okay? Now, nothing dismisses crazy. Obviously, crazy is crazy. Obviously, mentally insane is mentally insane. We're talking about using the type of language that the political left has used for these many years, and it's almost as if they've been trying to up themselves. To the point that recently, one of these knuckleheads, I've got his name written down here somewhere, said that he wanted to turn Donald Trump into the ultimate martyr. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody laughed. This guy, what is his name? I'll find it during the break. Political operative said, we need to, somebody, you're just going to martyr Donald Trump. I'd like to turn him into the ultimate martyr. Ha, 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 ha. It was all funny, wasn't it? Until he almost got his brains blown out. Do not forget this. Do not allow yourself to be gaslit into believing that they really want to elevate the conversation. There was a reason that Joe Biden, when he spoke to America last night, omitted Alexandria, Virginia. Did you guys notice that? He didn't mention the attack on the ball field in Alexandria that almost took the life of Steve Scalise. Why not? Reed Hoffman was the guy's name. Thank you to my loyal listening audience. I appreciate you. And now he's walking by. Oh, of course I didn't really mean that. Oh, yeah, run and hide, you coward. Anger is not going to lead us out of this situation. But it is perfectly reasonable to be angry at the political left right now for what they've done to this man who was almost killed Saturday night. Okay? And never let anybody tell you that that's not true. They created the tone. They did this. We didn't do this. They did this. They persecuted the man for 3 years. They called him a Russian agent for 3 years. They impeached him on nonsense. They put him in a court of law on nonsense. They convicted him on nonsense. And they led to a dynamic and a time in political history where somebody tried to blow his head off. Do not allow them to claim that they're innocent in all of this, because they're not.